welcome to another Team Clueless Battle Report. Today we have a 3-player game. Got some friends over there.
Hey guys.
John and Jason over there. We are playing a 3-way Imperial Guard, or Astra Militarum, as Jason likes to call them, don't you, Jason? So we're playing a 3-player game. You may have seen some of our 3-player rules before. Basically, we have complicated setup procedures, which we shall go through on the table in a minute. So you can see we have a table with lots of quite dense terrain, lots of line of sight blocking, just because you want to be able to hide when you're doing badly in a 3-player game. So each player has to set up in a little zone. We have to pick zones on the table, and then there's all kinds of measurement rules and stuff which we won't go into. But Jason has picked his zone down here. He has chosen setup zones first. He deploys first, but he gets third turn in the game. I have chosen over here. I got second choice. I get to go second in the game, and I have to deploy my stuff second. And John got third choice, but he gets to go first, and he deploys last, which is obviously an advantage. So John is over there. You can see we have a semicircular deployment zone each, 12 inches away from our pegs. Our table edges count as this 12-inch gap either side of the peg back there, so that's where we fall back to, and that's where reserves come on from. When you choose your army, or set up your army, you have to deploy at least 2 units. The rest of your stuff you can leave off the table, and it can roll on turn 1, or you can leave in normal reserve. Okay, so rules for winning the game. Each of us starts with a little Aquila objective. Jason, hold up an Aquila objective so people can see them. No, that's a dice, Jason. He's not a very experienced gamer, you see. We each have one of those, which is basically a relic objective, so we can move it around using infantry units and such. But in 7th edition, relic objectives are scored like relics, so you can park a tank next to them and score them, and you can contest your opponents. If you hold any of those at the end of your turn, you score 1 victory point for each you hold. Centre of the table, there is a big Imperial Space Marine statue thing. As normal, it makes all Imperial units fearless within 2 inches of it. If you hold that at the end of a turn, you gain 2 victory points. If you hold it at the start of a turn, other than the first turn, you gain another 2 victory points. If you hold it for the whole game turn, you're going to gain loads of victory points. And then the final thing is you score victory points for killing opposing units. The way it works is you score the victory points if you killed the majority of an opponent's dead unit. So a 10-man squad, you kill 6, another opponent kills 4, you get the victory point. That's in place so that it will stop other people from picking on weakened units. If I've killed 6 of Jason's models, it's unlikely John's going to kill the other 4 because it would just award me a victory point. It's unlikely we'll kill any of Jason's models because he's got loads of Imperial Guard and they're known to be really tough.
Sturdy boys, man.
Warlords are awarded as normal. There is no first blood, and line breaker is if you end the game within 12 inches of an opponent's peg. Jason, it's a white peg down there.
That's a lot of talking.
John is great, and I'm red over there. Let's go through our armies. So we're playing 1,500 points today. We're each playing Imperial Guards, so there's going to be a lot of models on the table. I have taken Pask as my warlord. He's got a couple of multi-melters, a las cannon, dozer blades, something else. He's got a... What's the one with 2 autocannons on it?
Exterminator.
Well done. He's got an exterminator and a las cannon. Then I have 2 veterans as my troop squads. Each has double melter and a heavy flamer. They're both in chimeras and heavy bolters. Then rounding out the HQ, I have a primary psycho, just a level 1. He's rolled up Prescient and Scryer's Gaze, not particularly good, and I have a priest there. I have a unit of Bullgrins, 3 with the big cover shield, 1 with a big power maul. Then I have a unit of, now what are these called? I think called Scions, aren't they?
They're called Stormtroopers.
Stormtroopers, they've got 2 melter guns in there.
Kazakin.
Now you're showing your age. I have an armoured... What's that called?
Sentinel.
Sentinel. God damn, my brain's gone. Armoured Sentinel with plasma cannon. At the back there, we have 1 Basilisk, we have 1 Wyvern, and we have 1 Lemon Rust Demolisher. You can see John has brought along these awesome smokestack things to stick on our tanks. He's got, how many did you bring?
That's 12.
We've got 12 of them. We have a lot more than 12 tanks. Well, maybe not a lot more, but we have more than 12.
His own. He's only counting us.
Oh, okay. Didn't bring any for his.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what Jason...
Right, so this is my army, and there's some stuff in it. Right, so I got a company command with Major Marcus over there, and he's got a, I think it was artillery observer. That's the wrong game.
Same thing.
Commissar, Voxcaster, standard bearer, and a mortar with his loader buddy. And then I got platoon command, 3 plasma guns and a plasma pistol and a Voxcaster. They're in a chimera, and they're also outflanking. That's my warlord trait. These are my veterans. They got 3 melter guns, and the rest have got shotguns, and they have carapace armor, and they are in a chimera, and they are also outflanking. And then I have 3 sort of just standard units of grunts. They got rocket launchers, not missile launchers. Grenade
Are you an orc?
Grenade launchers and Voxcaster. So there's 3 of them. And then I got some vehicles. This is a battle tank, and that's a Vanquisher.
That one looks a bit different to the others, Jace. That one's not very well painted, is it?
My army's still in, what do you call it? In work. They're still getting there. And then I got a Death Strike in the back there and a Hellhound. The Hellhound is also in outflank. So that's my army. Oh yes! I have a unit of Ogren squads. Or Ogren squad. They're not ogres like those. They're just what I use for Ogrens.
And they do look pretty cool. They've got fire axes and everything.
Yeah, I do like these models. They're cool. They're from Westwind Miniatures. They're for the Secrets of the Third Reich game. But I just like them. They look cool, and I just use them as my Ogren squad, inverted commas.
Giant hand.
Right, this is the Third Guard Army. We have a company command squad with a medic, flamer, comm, and standard bearer. Also part of the HQ. They have a ordnance observer, shall we call it? That sounds about right. He's the dude at the back there. I've also purchased 2 commissars, which will be distributed between some of the grunt squads, and 2 of the priests, which will also be distributed between.
I feel like I'm
grunt
missing
squads.
priests.
Yeah, priests are really good, Jace. You should probably have them.
None of them really have any upgrades, other than the commanding officer has a crazy pistol, which is part of the relic war gear.
Oh, nice.
I have a, can't remember what they're called, engine seer. There we go. He's just as he is. This is another shameless plug for miniatures. It's a micro art Iron Brotherhood dude. He's pretty cool.
He's cool looking, man. He's nice.
He is. He looks like a really good for the Forge World Mechanicum army, maybe.
Yeah. Well, John's busy working on one of those.
He's bringing 3 lance cannons. There's nothing special about these. These are just lance cannon teams, but I've modelled them so that their servo head is basically the firer. So they're just 2 wound dudes. Moving on to the troops, we've got a platoon command, nothing special. They have a comlink, woot, and binoculars, as you can see. 4 squads. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. Each have a sergeant with melter bombs, a missile launcher in each of them, and comms. 2 of them have flamers, and 2 of them have grenade launchers. Also in that platoon is 3 missile launchers in a squad there. The second troop is Harker's Veterans. It actually has Harker in there. A heavy flamer and 2 normal flamers plus a comm. These were fielded many moons ago in a battle on Doom's Dark Side 1. I just thought I'd plug that.
Oh,
you should go check that out.
Jason's channel.
That's this man's channel here.
I'm going to try and put a little link at the bottom of the screen at this point.
I've seen that your links, Marek.
It's very good. And basically the picture of that is a side view of Harker on a scaffold killing lots of orcs. You should go check that one out.
Game. That was a brilliant
game. It was a good game.
It was a really long time ago as well.
And then here's my armour killing stuff. Not really. I can't remember what it's called. Eradicator. So making lots of squishy Imperial Guard, hopefully, with a full trio of heavy bolters. Then I've got 2 Punishers, again rocking heavy bolter sponsons in the front. And that is it. I think I want a Chimera for the command squad.
Where's that from? That's a different Chimera. Where's it from again?
It's the standard Chimera, but it's got the
cool
chapter house wheels. Because tracks obviously are not very good.
It doesn't look. Oh, you haven't got the side things.
I think it comes with an entire side piece.
Yeah, the whole side piece is replaced.
It looks skinnier.
And there you go. That's 3 minutes.
I
like let's get gaming.
Okay, so here's our deployment. We just let Jason remove a model because he was stupid.
I think the term I prefer is noob.
Yes, quite possibly. So Jason's deployed over here. He's got the ill-fated Death Strike on the table because it needs to not move for a turn to gain bonuses. Then he's got his big Vanquisher there. He's got a couple of squads of infantry scattered around. One's hiding on multi-levels of this building. Over here, I've deployed a basically armoured wall of lemon rusties along the front. I've got a Wyvern at the back and a whatever that big gun Basilisk is over there. And then I've got my Relic is inside that Chimera being held by a squad. And also got my Bulgrin squad inside this building with a priest and a psyker attached. Jason's relic is deployed there next to his Death Strike.
Where is my relic?
Where has John put his relic?
Have I even got a relic?
You should have one. Has he lost his relic? John's lost his relic. I reckon Jason's stolen it. John will deploy his relic shortly when we find one. He's got las cannons there. He's got a
It will be
big clump here, and the relic will be inside there. Obviously, John definitely gets turn 1, so he gets to spread out with all this stuff, and then he can move on the rest of his infantry, which he's got on turn 1 coming in over there. You can see all the infantry on the table. They'll be rolling on afterwards. Okay. Ah, there's John's relic.
Is that mine?
Right, it is now.
Okay.
It was probably mine. Okay.
And he stole yours just to replace it.
Oh,
Let's see how we get on.
So apparently we're doing one of these for every end of turn. So this could take a while. I'll be real quick. So everything's moved on now. The Lehman Russes have pulled forward a bit. Everything's shuffled around. Harker's running. Most of my units ran this turn. Those that come on, they ran. They ran. Everything else is run underneath. Second unit there. Another unit there. Trying to spread out a little bit before the artillery starts pounding down. Even the lance cannons sort of moved. I should have set them up a bit better in deployment, but hey-ho. I did have a little bit of shooting, which was mainly this Eradicator nuking that building that you can see there. It took 5 models out, which is cool, but that still puts it, well, it's an easier task for Michael.
Yeah, I can steal that victory. And Jason's got a leadership check to make over there.
Hopefully they'll run.
Ah, they're okay.
Passed on 7. And then this Punisher unleashed only with 1 heavy bolter and the Punisher cannon at 5 dudes that were standing on that tower.
Yeah, for some reason.
They're quite happily just having a little
Not
look.
like I had much. So
I managed to smash them about, and then the only other firing was from these 3 missile launchers here. Only 2 of them could see, but they fired frag missiles over into the remaining unit of the squad. I haven't taken out the whole unit. There's still some left.
They're okay as well.
Heroically
Obviously,
standing
Jason's
firm.
Imperial Guardsmen.
But what that has done is given me the edge. So if those remaining guardsmen die, that victory point will be mine.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run them over to Michael's side to force him to kill it.
You piss off.
Let's see what happens in Michael's turn.
So, end of Astra Militarum. Yeah, I said it, Jason. Mine are Astra Militarum.
You're dead to me.
Oh, John's just failing a leadership.
They run
They're running.
off the board.
There, they're off the board.
That's a victory point.
Victory point for me.
Winning, John. Let's go.
Nicely remembered, John. So, on my turn, I basically spread out because I'm terrified of Jason's Death Strike. So, the Bullgrins have ran up there. My Lemon Russes, I chose this end of the table because I wanted to kind of like force these 2 to be this end of the table. Seemed like a good plan at the time.
Thanks.
Unfortunately, it's left all my Lemon Russes out of range. And being Lemon Russes and heavy, they can't really move forward very well, which is a bit of a pity. So, they've just trundled up to there. Over here, this has sprinted forward. It went flat out. It's got a squad inside. I've got my 2 artillery tanks at the back, both of them fired. The Wyvern is the thing that took out this squad down here. I was nicely dead-eyed up with it. And the Basilisk fired over... What did I fire that at? Oh, I fired it at the las cannons, and it scattered and didn't hurt this tank. I prescienced up on Pask's squad, and I fired 2 las cannons, which I managed to get 1 penetrating hit through on this, and I've immobilised it right there, which is a right pain. That's kind of like John's fire lane, so if I could leave that as a smouldering wreck right there, I would be quite happy. But overall, that was a pretty useful turn for me. I also plinged a few shots into Jason's squad over there with my other Chimera and my Sentinel, which are moving around the side of that building. Okay, let's see how Jason's going to respond.
Okay, so this was my turn 1, and I brought a Lehman Russ tank on over here. And
fired at me, you bastard.
That's right. Fired on that squad there. It hit the Ogren full on, and I rolled 2 1s and a 5, so I only got 1 wound on it. That's quite annoying. The heavy bolters just pinged off. And this squad moved on, didn't have anything in range to shoot off. That squad moved off the building of death and is moving towards that building over there. And this squad was running for the objective in the middle there. Also tempting Michael to shoot at them because the other 7 guys have died.
I'm reasonably confident Johnny's going to cut them down to gain his victory point.
Over here, this turn my Ogrins moved on, and my commander tried to order move on order on them, which failed, and then did fire on my target on this squad. Then the mortar and the artillery observer, or whatever the dude's called, bombardier,
I'm calling shenanigans on this.
fired down into here. No cover. The mortar hit directly onto the middle there, killing 1 guy, I think.
Killed 1 dude.
And then the ordnance dude.
And then there was a funny whistling noise
Bang!
as a heavy ordnance shell slammed into the building.
Chimera taken out. Victory point for moi. And 2 of the command squad died. I think it was a standard bearer and a medic or something.
Company colours and the flamer from that unit.
Oh, there we go. So that was. Oh, and my Vanquisher fired on this, got a penetrating hit, and then rolled a 4. So it can't snap. It can only snap next turn. And it can't move, or it can't move permanent period because it's immobilized and can't move or shoot.
So the scores at the end of everyone's turn 1 are: John has 1, I have 2, Jason has 2.
Yay! I'm in the
Last.
lead. Yay! Right, so it's back to John's turn. I hope he doesn't retaliate. John, that was just, for killing my scrunts. Another one for holding his own
Oh dear, so there you go, it's my second turn.
Which is covered in fire.
The Punishers have moved up. Yay! And a few of the infantry are still manoeuvring. Not a lot really happened there. Harker's men has moved up. Now Harker, in the shooting phase, had to go at the death strike. You can just see it in the distance there. Like, woo! And he managed to get 1 rend. Not really doing any damage, but it took a hull point off, so that's pretty damn cool. This Punisher, believe it or not, through those windows, there's some Ogryns. So I pumped a lot of lead into them, so to speak. Killed 1, wounded 1 other. This
Jason
fella,
went to ground, didn't he?
he did go to ground, yeah, he got a fair few saves from that, making them essentially power armoured Ogryns. There were 3 men standing right there.
That's
And,
just kicking puppies.
Yeah,
See,
that really is.
This Punisher revved up and peppered them. So
There's
that
like
got me a
red
victory point.
smear over here. Get
Yeah.
some red paint out.
Yep.
There's not a lot going on. Tech dude went up, tried to heal a hull point opposed to the immobilization, but he failed anyway, so that's pointless. Failed an order on the lance cannons to give him tank hunter. They fired and didn't do anything. Unit underneath fired, cracked, didn't really do anything. These missile launchers tried to take down the death strike, but failed. Not a lot happened.
He had a really bad
You
turn.
did
Really
roll
bad
lots of
turn.
1s and 2s.
I thought I'd pay back. They got orbital bombarded. Although, it's not really payback. 'cause
Yes, you fired at me.
they did that. So I thought I'd fire it over here instead. Whee! Missed. Aiming for the tanks.
Instead you
Hit
gave
the
him some
curb.
smoke cover.
And there you go. That's my second turn.
Astra Militarum, turn 2. So,
We're all Astra Militarum.
no, you
No,
guys
we're
are
not.
Imperial Guard.
Oh,
Jason
yeah.
insists.
My bad.
So this turn, my Scions came in. Sorry, my Stormtroopers came in. Jason gets really annoyed. They came in over there. I deep struck in and got in melter range. I got 1 hit through, got a penetrating hit, but all I did was immobilise it, which is a reasonable result, but it's going to puree my guys next turn. These guys ran forwards. I was really hoping to get a 6-inch run so I could get within 3 inches of the statue for the extra 2 VPs, but unfortunately they got a 1-inch run, so they're basically stuck in the middle of nowhere now. So they're there. Pask moved up here. The explosions are from last turn. They haven't been hurt. They fired their las cannons over at the immobilised tank that Jason had taken a hull point off of very kindly. I managed to knock the last hull point off and managed to get the victory
Only
point for
just
that.
as well, which is really annoying.
That's it. And another only just. Jason had 4 dudes left over here. John had killed 5 of the squad. I'd only killed 1. I managed to pick them up using the Wyvern, which was pretty nice. So that was another VP for me, stealing from John as he missed abysmally when firing at them last turn. Other than that, I don't think I did any damage to anything. I fired these pot shots over here, and I fired my plasma cannon and that Chimera to help take out the squad that was down there. So next it's Jason's turn. Let's see if his death strike will fire. We have to go and look up the rulebook now.
Okie dokie. So that was my second turn. And I can't remember shit all. Oh yeah.
Your reserves failed.
Yeah, my reserves other than my command squad came on. Down here I fired my... I did some orders. I did fire on my target again with my command squad.
Yeah, John's loving that.
And I did first rank, second rank fire with this command squad that came on, the little platoon squad. As you can see, the stormtroopers...
Stormtroopers are from Star Wars. Scions are from Imperial Guard.
They are dead. So victory point for me. Thanks, Michael. I enjoyed that free victory point.
Gets confused when he gets a phone call.
Right, so my orbital bombardment went down here. I put a hull point on the Punisher and I killed 2 of the guys over there with my mortar. The death strike did not fire. I rolled a 1.
In.
My Vanquisher doesn't have a lot of targets, but I managed to, if you see straight through there, you can't see shit all on this, but there's an autocannon gun sticking out at the back there. I put a hull point on that and I can't shoot next turn. I fired at the Sentinel with my battle cannon. And
Immobilise the Chimera.
yeah, immobilise the Chimera. I think that was the extent of it. My guys over here would had first rank, second rank fire, killed one stormtrooper.
21 residents.
Yeah, and a missile launcher, and a crack grenade, and a bolt pistol, and they all missed. So the Chimera had to finish them off, which it obviously dearly did. And that was it. I didn't really do a lot. I was trying to thin down the horde that's coming towards me, as you can see.
Now, you still got 2 reserves off the table, haven't you?
Yeah, I got my Hellhound and my veterans. But that is the end of turn 2 for all of us, and I think...
The scores on the doors are John has 3, I have 5, you have 4. So still pretty close.
3, 4, 5. Ah, there we go.
Boom. Turn 3 for the other Imperial Guard. Did some movement. The lines have spread out a bit. These moved out. Had a pot shot at the big... That looks so wrong. And you'll notice this on the video, Jason. Your crotch is right where the Death Strike missile is.
And you were just commenting that you find it so big. I mean, that can't be the same reference, though. Can't have said.
Harker's moved up, fired at the Organs, which you'll know are missing. That's mainly because this Punisher tank also fired, and this Punisher tank kind of did a cheeky shot as well. I didn't kill them all. They just decided that, do you know what? We've had enough. We're not taking this crap.
Shot by bloody Punishers.
So we're going to go home.
100 shots over 2 turns. That's it. I'm done.
So they went home to eat biscuits and stuff. So that's a victory point for me there. Rest have moved out, just trying to spread some bits out. I had some pretty good orders. Managed to get 3 this turn. These lance cannons fired at Sedley and Russ down the road there. The Executioner? Eradicator? Whatever. Exterminator. Too many E's. Managed to score a penetrating hit with a smoke cloud, which you can't see because it's just dissipating magically. Saved it there.
John puts the smoke cloud there.
I do normally, yeah. These missiles
firing next turn as well.
Also fired, pinged it, and pretty much the same thing again. Yeah, Jason managed to stop it from firing.
Oh yeah, it was Jason.
But not me. So not really successful. But as you can see, things are moving out. I got a victory point for holding that. And a victory point for taking the Ogrins out. But other than that, there's not a lot going on. Oh, and I also immobilised, I forgot about that. I did immobilise the Chimera with the...
Both my Chimeras are immobilised in the open. Nowhere near where they wanted to go.
Would have been lovely if we immobilised that as well. Just keep popping your shit down at the bottom here.
We shall see. Right.
Astra Militarum turn 3. So this turn I rather picked on Jason a bit over there. So I moved this guy. Jason and John seemed to come to some taciturnal agreement during John's turn that Jason's going to death strike the crap out of me. So I thought, I'm going to get it this turn. So I put this tank here at a lovely line of sight over to the death strike, going through this little crack in a wall there. I then, without thinking, parked this tank here. Which, in hindsight, didn't seem too clever, as it had to snap fire all its shots this turn, so it fired over there, it did nothing. I managed to split fire, though, with it and Pass. Pass fired over at Jason's Lemon Rust there and just Swiss cheesed it. I just rolled 20-odd shots and just blew it apart. I also fired my Wyvern over at the squad there. There were 11 guys in Jason's squad. I did them 18 wounds with my Wyvern. It was pretty accurate, and they're just
4 hits in a row. It's 20 hits.
My immobilised Chimera over here fired its heavy bolter and its multi-laser at the side of Jason's Chimera. Got 2 penetrating hits. It's immobilised and it has lost its heavy bolter. So that's a pretty good result, but it's left on 1 hull point, which I don't like. I tried to knock that whole point off with my plasma cannon there, did nothing. The Bulgrin squad have positioned themselves surrounding the Imperial statue in the centre, gaining me 2 victory points, which is pretty nice. And I remembered to fire my Basilisk. It turns out I'd forgotten it last turn because, look, it's quite hard to notice it's even there when it's behind there. So
it also has veered off wildly, the 2 shots it has.
It hasn't done anything anyway. I fired it over at Jason's Death Strike again, wildly scattered, didn't hit anything. But I did gain quite a few victory points that turn. I gained 1 for holding my relic over there still, 2 for the centre, and 2 for killing 2 of Jason's units. So I'm up to 10 victory points now, which is pretty nice, but I suspect they may turn their attention to my unit in the centre now to blow it off the statue. We'll have to see.
Right. I'm so disappointed. What a rubbish turn.
There's a single hull point.
Yeah. My veterans didn't come on again, but my Hellhound came on. And my plan was to use the multi-laser and the rest of my plasma squad, so plasma pistol and 2 plasma gunners, to try and crack open that Chimera. As soon as the multi-laser failed, I changed my mind and tried to crack this open instead. So I got a whole point on that, and there's a whole point on that.
Then you ran your squad behind.
I did forwards for the Emperor, so once they failed to do anything, they moved around there. My orbital bombardment fired over there and put a wound on an ogre, and my mortar fired over there and put a wound on it, but it was saved.
Bounced off my shield wall.
But the most disappointing thing, I rolled a 1 again. God damn it! Why won't you fire the massive rockets? So it didn't fire. So instead, my Vanquisher fired onto the back tank over there and put another hull point on it, and it can't shoot next turn. So the extent of my turn was hull point there, hull point there, hull point there. I'm rubbish at this game. All right, let's go on to the next
turn. You did gain a single victory point, Jason.
Woohoo!
Lovely picture on this.
Double the tanks I have.
I know. I started with a few. So that's the end of my turn 4. Things have happened. This was my turn. I declared it was my turn. And it sort of helped. Positive mental attitude. Harker's moved up. Didn't really do a lot. He ran. I'm leaving the Death Strike because I wanted to blow stuff up. 2 Punishers moved into position to mow down those measly, poxy ogrins.
They appear to still be there.
I think I did a single wound. No, I didn't even do that.
No, you did one.
wound, yeah.
A
I
whole
think you got
wound.
17 wounds through, and I made 16 saves.
Wow, that's how do you like them apples? Servo dude, engine seer. He kind of ran up sneakily, stuck a melter bomb on the side of the Vanquisher. Other 2 hull points were from
those guys.
These missile launchers with ignoring cover saves, which is good because it had quite a fair whack of hull down. These moved up, didn't really do a lot. This unit's moved up around the wreck of their tank just to shoot at what was a unit in here, a full unit of 10 veterans. They did a couple of wounds. I think this unit here, or the remnants of, did the first rank, second rank, plus the flamer, which did 5 casualties, and then I picked a few off there. Oh, and the command squad down the bottom managed to get a few
Does he only
rounds
get the
in.
victory point when he runs off the board?
When he runs off the board, or at the end of the game,
It's
if
very
he hasn't
frustrating.
rallied. I've
Yeah.
got 1 heavy flamer left, and I failed my
he is.
leadership.
That was perfect. Lance cannons blew up the thing with the auto cannons. That one, yes.
That one there, but Jason got the VP because he had done 2 hull points and you didn't explode it.
This is true, but I just wanted it rid, to be fair, so that's gone. I'm happy about that. A lot going on. The forces are spread out. See what happens.
Astra Militarum, turn 4, and it was a bit of a half and half turn. They'd failed to get my Bullgrins off the central objective statue, so I gained 2 more victory points. I'm building up a nice healthy lead to holding that. But the rest of my stuff didn't go particularly well. Over here, I fired a demolisher at the squad that was there, that's now looking like a tape measure, and I also fired the Wyvern over there at it, and the Wyvern, just as usual, just annihilates Imperial Guard. How many? I think I did like another 14 wounds to them, which was pretty special. I fired the multi-laser and heavy bolter there at the las cannons, who seem invulnerable to my fire. Down here, Pask had moved up and cunningly put a statue in between him and his preferred target. I mean, he couldn't fire his las cannon. The rest of the weapons could get through, giving him a cover save, but as usual, he turns whatever he fires out into Swiss cheese. And luckily, Jason had already done a hull point, which I'd forgotten about, and that was all I needed to get it. So I got a VP from him. I fired my Basilisk all the way over the top, and it actually hit the Death Strike. I was hoping to get a weapon destroyed so it made it worse at firing next turn, but I only got a can't fire, which it completely ignores, and I've done it a whole point, meaning John's job is easier to kill it when it does fire. Over here, now this went very badly. I got out of the Chimera over there with 2 melter guns, tried to fire them over at the Hellhound, hit once or twice, but failed to get any penetrating hits because I was outside of the sweet 6-inch range. I then tried to charge my Sentinel at Jason's command squad because they don't have any crack grenades, so they can't hurt it in close combat. He only got to Overwatch with a single dude with a plasma gun, and I had cover from him. Jason hit me, he penned me, I failed my cover save, blew up my Sentinel as he charged in, giving Jason a victory point, which I wasn't happy with.
That's a second free victory point you're giving me.
Yep. This guy ran away a bit, and the Bullgrins, they'd moved out front to try and charge the second Punisher. They failed a It was a 5-inch, but a 7-inch due to the intervening terrain. They failed their charge. They're now sitting out in the open, which I'm also not particularly happy about. Let's see if Jason can finally fire. Jason, are you going to fire the Death Strike this turn?
I'm pretty sure because I think it's on.
Do it. Just roll.
We'll have to double check whether a failure is a 1, but you'll see in a couple of seconds. We're going to have to kind of search a rulebook and shit.
Just in case.
All right, as this turn starts, I would like to declare how utterly disappointed I am.
But Jason, look at the size of the template. It's this inner bit between my 2 fingers of the template.
That's
It would hit the
beautiful.
entire of my chest.
Yeah, well, that's not saying much.
Well, no. I used to have finger boots.
So I fired into there with look at that, and you know what I did? I did sod all.
You scattered over here, didn't you? And
Yep.
you hit 1 Ogryn and 1 priest.
Yep, they failed to wound the freaking Ogryn, and the priest took it in the face and
He's
ate
wearing
it.
an amulet, Jason. I mean, you can't expect to hurt people wearing an amulet.
No, not with a massive nuclear missile. Anyway, so that was my rant over. But the rest of the turn went a little bit better. Mortar and massive
Big thing.
artillery thing fired over there and did nothing. These guys got fired on by my veterans who came on this turn. Killed a couple, maybe 3, and then they failed their panic test and ran off that way.
Yep, they can still come back, though, because they're...
This is my box that does nothing.
No, it's got heavy flame on the front.
Great, I can shoot my shit.
You shoot John shit.
Oh, yeah. This side went much better. Wow, I don't even know. There was a veteran squad there that was trying to hold this flank against my stuff.
You'll notice my relic is hiding back here.
Yep, with 1 sergeant remaining from the veteran squad. The rest of the squad was all killed by a combination of the flamer and the multi-laser and a heavy bolter from that. These guys took out the Chimera, so I got me a victory point for that. And hopefully I can start maneuvering onto that to get the relic off.
So, just to recap, what's the scores?
So the scores on the doors are... John has 8.
Great.
Jason has 9.
Wow.
I have 17, though.
What?
Six of them from holding this, and I'm going to get more unless John takes me off it.
Fix.
John, it's time for an
Trying.
alliance.
I think he's relying on you to fire
It's
your
time for
best
an alliance.
strike.
It's time for an alliance. Have you got anything left?
Well, I shot my wad and it made a big smoke screen for him to hide behind.
Wow.
Well, that's that. Right.
So that was my turn 5, me being John, just to reiterate that. What's happened? Harker has recovered his morale and rallied there. Tried to get a few more points. Well, I say a few more. Tried to get some points off of this Chimera, but failed, unfortunately. These boys had a couple of shots, as did the missile launchers, all into the Chimera. I think, what? 1 whole point.
And you stopped it from moving or shooting.
This is true. The squad inside, did they pass?
Yeah, they passed.
They passed.
They passed. They can pop out. Other movement. These boys have moved up, as has the command squad. I also did some orders. The main commanders come out, so we can issue some orders, which he did on the left cannons. And these boys also had 1st rank, 2nd rank. And the Punisher and that unit shot at the Ogrins, which have disappeared. Well, the main 3 have disappeared. However,
This guy was boss with his 4-up colour
yeah,
saves.
he did some epic saves. It would have been nice to have just gotten a few more wounds in there to claim a couple of victory points, and it just removed them from that area. In general, the Servitor las cannons, pew, 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 shot a Pask, and got 2 hull points off.
Yeah, 2 pens. I can't move or fire
2
twice.
pens, so lucky. So hopefully that will save me from a torrent of crazy fire from him again. There's not a lot left. Oh, another thing. Assault the engine sear. Whee!
That engine here has been money.
He's done all right. He's been really good.
Fix the goddamn thing.
No, he's fixed no tanks, but he's ripped all yours
He's
apart.
good at
I think he's
ripping
looking for spares.
Yeah, yeah. He's a bit upset that his Lippmann rosters have gone kaput, so he's taken it out on the other Imperial vehicles. Took the Death Strike out after its, well,
It
interesting
deserved no less.
shot, shall we say. That's 2 minutes of video. So I'm going to stop it there. Hey!
Astra Militarum, turn 5. I got into a nice early lead, but the tables are turning at this point. Let's hope the game ends this turn, which it could do at the end of Jason's. So down here, this Chimera finally, after about 3 turns of shooting, managed to kill a single las cannon. Not that useful. Demolisher fired over here, actually ended up firing over here somewhere. Las cannon failed to hurt anybody. Pask, he was snap firing, but he had got prescience cast on him by the librarian. He's not a librarian really, he's a Primaris Psyker over there. Fired all his shots in over here, managed to do a single wound, killed a single guardsman. These guys charged into combat over here. They weren't brilliant at it, but they should have got a few more. I got 1 whole point on it and stopped it from firing next turn, so it will be snap firing. Over here, I fired my artillery. I fired the Wyvern. Jason managed to save 1 final guy in the end, so I thought, bugger it. I fired the Basilisk at it, hit him on the head, blew him to smithereens. Pask is still within 3 inches, even though he's got 1 whole point left, so I'm still scoring the victory points for the statue in the centre, which are winning me the game at the moment.
Okay, so this was the end of my turn. I didn't have a lot left, so...
Okay, that was a bad idea.
Michael's fiddling around with my resin.
I didn't realise it was so damn heavy.
I killed the sergeant over there and drove over his remains of his Chimera.
He's a little further forwards.
Yeah, and claimed his relic.
So you gain that point for that relic, while I remember.
This is contested here.
Yeah, so he doesn't get a point there.
I don't get it because I can... That freaking engine's here. I put spit fire on my unit to try and take him out. It didn't work. These guys jumped out. Took about 3 or 4 of Harker's unit out. He passed his leadership test. And that's about it. I fired my barrage into there thinking, oh man, even if it scatters that way, I'm in luck here. But no, I'm not. Maybe I should have gone for Pask. Ah, screw it. So that's the end of my turn. I didn't score a lot. Now John's going to roll to see if the game ends.
This is on a 3+, correct?
Yep.
3+ for turn 6.
Yeah, it goes on. Ah, get in!
And he's won. Well, there was no doubt of that. Yeah.
But no, but it was turning against me here. I think John had the best forces left on the table.
Got it.
Because he had so much more heavy. The rest of us...
Whoops! Wasn't me!
The rest of us had no heavy firepower left, really.
I'm saying this dice is dodgy. No. Well...
So, I feel obliged to read the scores out at the end of the game.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
So, I had 23, mainly because of this thing. You can gain 4 a turn from it. That just stacks up. Then Jason had 11. John had 12.
Yeah! Una basta hina vina!
Exactly. I wish I wasn't on the turn because there was a potential of taking that central one.
I think on next turn you'd have got 3 VPs there, 2 for
4,
pass.
5.
Move on to that, you gain 2 for that.
7.
Yeah.
Possibly have that 8.
Yep. I think you could have had a really big turn next turn. So all your stuff, you've still got loads of stuff left. Like you've still got 3 missile launchers, 2 las cannons. You've still got a Punisher left, command squad, artillery. Much better position than Jason and I at the end.
Well, I wasn't in a great position.
You were fooled at the end.
All I had for going for me was trying to capture that relic and take this one back.
Yep. I think possibly that you guys left it a turn too late to switch to killing my stuff. Because I'd obviously, because I went second, I'd chosen to go down the long table edge because Jason had taken one end. But then when I got to the centre, you still were fighting each other a bit, and I think you should have maybe gone to a far. But I think you were waiting for Jason's death strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of waiting for that bit.
Which did nothing. What was this, like 150 points of
100,
football?
170, I think, mate.
Jesus. Why?
I thought it was going to be fun. That's why
I thought it was going to be fun as well.
No, it's not even fun.
Well, the game was fun, but the tank was
the
shit.
game was
Yeah,
fun.
the tank was rubbish.
Just
I've taken it a few times now, and it seems like it should always do stuff. All 3 of our warlords survived, which I find a bit weird.
True.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I don't
Pask
think we've
was
got
on his
any
last
secondary objectives. We don't have any.
Oh yeah, we forgot to add those. Is John within 12? Yeah, John is on 13. He properly kicked your ass.
A line breaker.
Line breaker scored.
Jason, have you got a line breaker from up?
Oh yeah. What about my code?
Oh yeah. Are you within 12? 12 of the peg. 12 of the peg.
Remember, it's...
Remember, I'm forward.
Yeah, but you're not right on top of that. You're not. I think you're a couple of inches out.
Always the way.
Unlucky.
Oi.
I really think that these things that John's made, if you can focus on one of these, Jace, I really think these add a lot to the game.
Yeah. good little visual effects.
Yeah, we
especially
were
when
putting them
dumping
down because we all had lots of artillery, and we were sticking them down wherever the
It's
artillery
nice.
hit, which just makes it look really nice.
Nice
And
as
on the
a
destroyed
reminder.
tanks as well. They look. I think I might have to try and make some of those.
That's very easy.
Yeah, they're just a tea light that flashes inside.
Turn it upside down.
Nicely, second.
Turn it upside
You
down.
want to see the bottom?
Ah, it's like that.
There
You
we
mean.
go.
Yeah.
Like,
I was thinking, how's that going to go? But yeah, I think they're a really good visual aid.
yeah. I like having it because my tanks always explode.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to continue having my models looking pretty. That was a brutal game.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that, guys.
Yeah, it was
What
really
was
good.
what was your pick of your best unit, Jason?
A
Best
couple
one.
of John stuff maybe. No, I don't know. I don't think my army worked as well as in any specific genre. Everything I brought on died.
Possibly your Hellhound. It came on. It did work.
Yeah,
Was it
but
either the Hellhound or the veteran squad that popped out.
Yeah, they were
Whittled
pretty
down,
good.
They were going for it. They fought to the last, literally.
Not the
They
Death
did
Strike. I
really
think
well.
Death Strike gets Jason's Booby
That's
Award.
right.
yeah, I don't think anything on mine did anything that
Nothing
I wanted
did
to
brilliant.
do. Yeah, it was just constant. Bring something on, get peppered, move off.
It's a shame.
I think for me, Pask, he looked at something, killed it. He looked at Jason's Lemonruss, it died. Your Lemonruss, it died. I mean, when he had to snap fire, it
You
wasn't so
can't
good.
rule out those 3 Ogrins, though.
Yeah,
Because
they soaked a lot of
They
wounds.
gave you a big chunk of those victory points. They held
My
them.
Demolisher suffered from my tactic of trying to set up at the end of the board because it fired one
Yeah.
Demolisher shot all games. That's a waste of 170 points.
It
What
was
about
a-
you, John? Best unit?
Best unit's difficult to call that.
I'm
on
thinking
mine.
possibly the
Oh.
engines here.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
engines.
yeah.
Yeah. The combat
They
monster.
just rampaged through Jason's tanks.
Yeah, he kind of snuck about and did a few bits. Got me a.
Well, he got those
Got a
two
couple
victory
of
points
victory
there,
points.
and he
And
denied me.
continue.
Yeah, denied one there.
But yeah, that's it. The rest is mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Well, we are playing Guardsmen. I mean, Guardsmen
know, but
are
it's-
mediocre.
Yeah,
It
best.
would have been nice to have something.
What annoys me
Okay.
is your Ogrins had the same army cover save as mine in there when I was going to Grand, and yet
Yeah.
I failed millions of saves. And
Mine
you-
had giant great shields strapped to their arms.
No, it was good.
Yeah, enjoyed that, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
And I'll remind everyone again, go and watch Jason's channel. He does loads of board games and such.
And loads of other stuff as well.
Yeah,
We-
he does miniatures games. You play other miniatures games, don't you, Jason?
Yeah, we do. Well, hopefully this year we're going to do a lot more of other miniature games like Fantasy, 40k, War Machine, Bolt Action, maybe even a bit of Lion Rampant there, John.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lion Rampant. I haven't heard of that one.
It's a
This is
medieval
nice, right?
skirmish game, yeah.
Ah, excellent.
I'm also a big fan of some of the other games as well. Like we might do the Night Models Batman miniatures game.
Ah, that'd be cool.
Maybe even a bit of Warhammer Ancients. Well, not Warhammer Ancients.
Yeah, might get a bit of drop zone in. If,
Oh yeah, Drop Zone.
Bennett's about.
John's got a Drop
Oh,
Zone
you've
on
got
as
drop
well.
zone as well, have you, John?
Some
Yeah.
Scourge.
Oh, I've got some Scourge. I've never played against Scourge. That'd be good.
So if you want to check out some
Yeah,
alternate
I'll check that
games,
out.
go check out Doom's Dark Side 1.
Yay!